second edition of the Paroxysm Podcast. We survived 1 week, John.
Yes, we did, and I told you those jokes wouldn't get thrown off.
Yeah, I mean, shit, how many people do you think actually listened? But if you have listened and you are back, welcome back. Man, we got a lot of shit to talk about this week. I guess we might as well get into the stuff that's happened with us this week. I mean, you were at a Warped Tour. How was Warped Tour this in the past week that we've been off the air?
Well, to be honest, me and my friends didn't quite stay as long. We didn't stay for the whole thing. I was upset because I didn't get to see Guar, but I did get to. I did get to meet my idols.
And those would be
Hawthorne Heights.
Indeed, you've mentioned multiple times that you are a huge English big fan of them. So finally getting to meet them, you had your little mark out moment.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty bad. I even went up to him and said, "Hey, you know how you guys have that shirt that says I used to listen to Hawthorne Heights in high school? Yeah, that was me."
You're a fucking mark for them. I said it last week, you were a mark. I'll say it this week, you're still a fucking mark.
But I will say one thing about Hawthorne Heights.
Zuck and the Zark. Anyways, go ahead.
Considering that all but one band member dead fished me when I shook their hands, I was like...
They did what?
You don't know what dead fishing is?
I do not. I honestly can say I do not.
Usually when you go up to someone, you shake their hand. Some will give you that strong grip, and then some will just be like, eh.
You do that weak shit?
Yes, that was 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 were the weak fists.
And one of them actually shook my hands. I was like, okay, cool.
Ah, that's lovely.
By the way, I should mention, they had a representative of Seth Rollins' Wrestling Academy out there.
Ah, Black and Brave.
Yeah, they were actually selling merch and everything. There was a shirt I would have loved if they had in my size. It was like, one half was, you saw, Seth Rollins' face.
Mm-hmm.
And the other half was like a skull.
Huh.
I was like, okay, yeah, that's a cool shirt.
Of course, because you're a Seth Rollins mark.
Hey, Seth Rollins is a good wrestler. We can all say that.
Yeah, I will say he is a very good wrestler. So, I mean, I gotta make fun of you for being a mark.
Yeah, I know you do, but...
Oh, by the way, I found out for you to make you feel better. You could go get that shirt at one of your favorite stores.
What, Hot Topic?
God damn, that was a good guess.
I probably would, but I'd probably rather get it online.
Hot Topic exclusive tee. So there you go. Anyways, are we done putting over Black and Brave?
Yes, we are.
All right. Now that we've put them over for a minute, what else you had? You had Cottage Hills this weekend as well.
Yes, we did. We basically had our build-up for this coming weekend, which is our pay-per-view Rungs of Glory, where every match is a ladder match.
That's a good gimmick.
So, this weekend we'll have Sabotage Squad, John Boy and Crispy,
John Boy,
taking on my boys in Destiny, Harlock Cross and Cage Cross. Oh no, I'm sorry, not Harlock Cross and Cage Cross. Harlock's defending his global title. It is Cage Cross and Ben Gray versus John Boy and Crispy for the CHWA tag titles.
More like Ben Gay. Anyways, any other matches you want to put over for that show?
We also will have I'm sorry, we won't have a tag title match because Sabotage Squad is actually in the Rungs of Glory match.
God damn, learn the card, man.
Well, I was told there was a ladder match originally, and then I saw they were in the Rungs of Glory match.
Just giving you shit, just giving you shit.
Let me
Be another
see.
one of our shirts.
By the way, shout out to our good friend Kenny Bolin, who is actually live right now with the Bowling Alley.
Indeed, Bowling Alley Live making some big announcement. We would inform you of, but he's going live as we record this, so go over to his page and watch. You'll probably be watching a replay by the time you're hearing this. I hope he doesn't go live for 3 straight days.
I don't know about Kenny. I've seen him do that.
He's crazy. I'll give him that. But now, shout out to Kenny out in Louisville. You know, we need to make a road trip to Louisville sometime. Go hang out with him and old Jimmy Cornette.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, the Rungs of Glory match, which is basically Money in the Bank.
Because every indie promotion has their version of Money in the Bank.
So, participants in Money in the Bank, god damn it, Rungs of Glory.
Oh, that's staying in there. Oh, you bet your ass that's staying in there.
Hey, this is my first year with them doing Rungs of Glory.
I know.
So this
You're
year's
still Greenhorn.
This year's Rung of Glory match is Elride, Xander Allen, my boy David X, Jake Prater, Sabotage Squad, VDP, and the Enforcer. Well, Isaiah the Enforcer. We just call him the Enforcer.
Indeed. Well, I guess I might as well let the cat out of the bag. You know, we mentioned CHWA and me being up in the St. Louis area in September. I've talked with the good folks over at Cottage Hills. I'm sorry, Chapel Hills is a neighborhood not too far from me. Cottage Hills Wrestling Alliance, Chaos Jester, the general manager over there. I guess we might as well announce it. I'm going to be up there September 3rd, Sunday, September 3rd. You know all the building details, John, so plug that. And, yeah, I guess we'll be working on the same show.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, you can come check out CHWA it's been every Saturday night, but this Saturday night is the last Saturday night before we move to Sunday.
Sunday. I had to do it.
But every Sunday night after this weekend at the CHWA Arena, 204 West MacArthur Drive, Cottage Hills, Illinois. Doors open at 5, bell time is damn it. Doors open at 4, bell time at 5. Tickets are children $3, adults are only $5.
Indeed, and all those events will be, we'll put those over, and we'll especially put over the September 3rd show, because we'll be there, and who knows, we might get some good shit out of that. But, nonetheless, man, I had a great weekend full of wrestling. Started it out Friday night at Mid-South Wrestling Alliance at the, formerly Crossroads Mall, now Plaza Mayor, with Dirty Ron McDonald out there, a good friend Mikey G from Fist Combat. I put him over last week. Had a great time with him. He took on Jake O'Brien from the Omega. You know, I need to share that match on our page because I filmed it. Alright, you ain't gonna believe this shit, John. He turned Jake
I'm listening.
O'Brien into a human puppet.
Okay, that just sounds... I can believe that because there is a wrestler named Voodoo McQueen out of Chicago, Illinois, who comes out with a voodoo doll.
Voodoo has always been popular in wrestling. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but how many people actually take that voodoo doll, stab it with needles, and the wrestlers actually go with it?
Did they sell for the needles? You know, I thought that's that. You know, it's funny. Last week I cut promos over wonky shit in wrestling, and then in the past weekend I sat around and hung out with a dude who turned his opponent into a fucking human puppet. So I guess I can't say anything.
Well, I mean, Voodoo McQueen. That the first time I ever met Voodoo, and this is actually up on the Paroxysm Podcast page. You can
Paroxysm,
see
get it
pictures
right.
of me with Paroxysm.
For
Anyway.
English, press 1.
You have room to talk.
I know, I have a hard enough time with the English language.
But
To be
anyways,
fair, it's my second language. Sarcasm is my first.
anyways, on the Facebook page, you can see a picture of me with Voodoo McQueen, who had a match against a good friend of mine, Ricky Cruz.
Indeed.
About near the end of the match, we seen Voodoo McQueen go to the ring with a box that was smoking.
A smoking box. A hot box, if you will.
So
Anyways.
he sets the box down. We have no idea what's in the box the whole match. Well, about 3/4 of the way through the match, he goes over to the box, pulls out a voodoo doll.
A voodoo doll.
He looks over at Ricky Cruz, pulls out a needle, and stabs it. Next thing you know, there goes Ricky Cruz bumping. I'm like, the fuck? So Ricky gets back up, Voodoo stabs it again. Bump.
Somewhere Jim Cornette was shitting himself.
I mean, either way, it's really weird. But it's one of them gimmicks I guess gets over.
Yeah, then again, I mean, I never thought a cokehead clown would get over, but Dirty Ron is over.
Which reminds me, I watched one of his matches last night.
What'd you watch?
I believe I watched his match from Bloody Mania 18.
Ah, yes, the Bloody Mania match. He actually had 2 matches at the Gathering this year. He went up against Earl Cooter at the Lucha Show on Thursday. Earl's a good dude, friends with him. And then after he left Mid-South, because his match was just before intermission, we went and talked through the match after intermission, and then he headed on his way to Bloody Mania to take on, I can't remember who he took on at Bloody Mania, but
some Galaxy guy.
Oh yes. I gotta remember his name, but he was at the Mid-South show as well. It'll come to me in a minute. But
anyways,
nonetheless,
I watched it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
he always puts on, you know, as much as I kind of crap on, you know, hokey horseshit wrestling, as Cornette would call it. I gotta admit, Mikey does it in a way that there's at least a little bit of believability to it, but you're gonna have a laugh or two, you know. He doesn't completely throw away the basics of wrestling, you know. I mean, the start of his match with Jake O'Brien was the standard collar and elbow tie-up. So there's at least a little bit of because he was trained at Gateway Championship Wrestling, so he knows how to wrestle.
Oh yeah, he he was trained at Gateway, which later on became Dynamo Pro.
From the same
Who
class, as guys like Matt Seidel.
Yeah, and considering one of their head trainers is a world renowned wrestler right now.
Michael Hogan.
Exactly.
So
But
great, some great talent came out of that little group there.
but while we're on the subject of wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
there's also another event I will be at this weekend.
I thought we were gonna wait and plug this at the end, but oh well.
Let's just keep this going since we're talking about wrestling.
But so speaking of, we still have to go over our bullshit in wrestling thing we promised from last year.
But also this weekend there's WOE's War, or should I say Wrestling Over Everything presents We Are Rivals.
Because that's what WAR stands for. Actually, that's probably going to be a great event. Anything from WOE English.
Well, yeah,
Press 1.
Considering the main event is for the WOE Championship, as it's the infamous Tyler Copeland taking on Leon Mephisto.
Motherfucker stole my gimmick. No, I'm just kidding. Tyler's a good dude. No, I just had. It's funny because there's right now there's somebody out there laughing, who gets that, but everybody else is going, huh? The fuck?
But to go ahead and run this over real quick, it's going to be Sunday, August 6th. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Show starts at 6, and it's going to be at the River's Edge Community Center, the old Centerville Elementary School, at 3429 Camp Jackson Road, Centerville, Illinois, 62206. Adults are $10. Kids ages 5 and under are $5. And then if you want more information on the show, contact, I believe this is Ken, but contact 618-578-3749.
Good to see I'm not the only one that has worked a show in a former school, because the Boys and Girls Club of Durant, which is where my first show with the IWR was, is actually, I believe, the old Durant Middle School, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, that is it's gonna be a good show. Everything from oh fuck me, I'm struggling today. WOE has been phenomenal. Pun intended.
I'm just wondering though, is this finally going to be the event where Leon Mephisto loses the WOE Championship?
I mean, he's had that thing for quite some time.
He's had it since it was since it was brought to commission.
I left that open-ended for you to fill in because I know you're a Leon Mephisto mark.
Well, not only that, I've been to WOE, WIA.
Yeah, let's see. It's been defended in WOE, WIA.
Well, it has not been defended in WIA, but WIA is what it used to be called.
Well, yes. Oh, yes. Now, we were going to talk about some BS in the wrestling business, but thinking about those two companies made me realize here's a smart strategy. I'm not going to outright say the promoter's name, because, I'm not sure if all that's out there. But so he has this title, right?
Right.
It's kind of a mid-card title, if you will, but it's based around the state in which the promotion is held.
Right.
So, this promoter also lends a lot of his talent to other friends and other wrestlers who run promotions.
Right.
He lets this title be defended on their shows, similar to like the NWA belts. But he charges
Right.
them a fee for the belt to be defended, like the NWA did. So that is, I'll give him credit. That's how you do it right there. There's a reason he wears diamond rings and nice watches.
Right.
So, anyways, I guess we might as well talk about, we're gonna shit on some people in the business today. So we're gonna try not to use any names. If a name slips out, we're probably gonna edit it out, so you might hear a beep or something, some censorship, if you will. But man, I realized, because I come from music. I played music for about 7 years before I got into wrestling.
Right.
I really left that because I realized, fuck, the music business as a whole is chock full of bullshit and, false friends and all that. So, and I got out of that only to realize that I think that's fucking entertainment in general. Music, wrestling, whatever. There will be BS.
Right.
So let's see. I guess where should we start? Should we start from our careers and go through all the shady shit we've seen?
Well, should we talk about the most recent thing we both found,
I
or
I
you
I
found out?
I guess we could work backwards here because this is what pisses me off because I I come into wrestling from being a fan. I was a fan first. I will always be a fan. I'll be honest. I'm downright a mark sometimes, but I came from that into the business. So everything I do in regards to the business, I try to do for the fans and for the boys in the back, the wrestlers, the talent, if you will. If you want to include managers, referees, things like that. So I have always been taught, that those are the people you do things for. I've never been a fan of corporate wrestling. I don't think wrestling is a corporate business, and I think you'd agree with me on that. What you need to run a wrestling company is not a staff of Hollywood writers, of Wall Street businessmen. What you need is wrestling people.
Right.
So, with that, there comes a certain set of guidelines you have to do when dealing with the fans if you want to make them feel special and feel a part of this product. So I'm going to give a scenario for you here. I'm going to ask you some questions along the way, and we'll kind of feel this out.
Okay.
So, you're running a show in a big venue. Big, I'm talking huge. Like, you're probably going to have to sell several thousand tickets. And you need to draw people to this show, right?
Right.
So how do you do that? You can use your current roster, you can bring in some big names, or you could try to run a smaller building.
Right.
So what would you do? Let's pick your brain here.
Well, to be honest, if I had a big show coming up, I would, I would start getting on the promotion right away. Especially after, uh, if I knew it was going to be like a big show,
Yeah,
And
I'm talking. This is going to be like your biggest or your second biggest show of the year.
so what I would do, honestly, is I would try to book people to actually that some of the older fans would know.
So you'd book a legend. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, all right. Here's another thing. You're going to have an opportunity to promote that show because about a week or so before, there's going to be another event at that venue.
Right.
So you're going to bring a star in for that event to promote your show. Now, should you tell the fans that, oh, he's just coming for this promotional event, or would you tell them, or would you be kind of, oh, what's the word I'm looking for, vague, and about where he's appearing as a marketing ploy to drive up numbers?
If I was to book someone, they would be there for the actual show, not to be like, hey, here's this guy at a convention.
But if, well, say it was a convention, would you make it clear if they were only appearing for one of those?
Yeah, I would make it clear saying, hey, he's only here for this. But I would also do a thing that'd be like, if you want to see him at, this show, then let us know.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of that, if you're a wrestler, and let's say you're injured,
Right.
you've got something wrong with your shoulders, let's say. You take a booking back in early June, and you say, hey, I am going to be at your show at the end of July. On the premise, if you will, that you're going to be healthy and ready to go. But then you outright know that you're not going to be healthy in time for that show. Should you even take that booking in the first place?
Well, let me put it like this. About a month ago, I went to the Glory Pro show, War of the New Age.
Mm-hmm.
Well, DJ Z, or Zima Ion, was scheduled to wrestle against Pretty Reckless Everett Connors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we all knew, Zima was recovering from a emergency surgery he had to have.
Indeed, he ruptured his stomach or colon or something like that.
Colon.
Colon.
So he still showed up. And he said, hey, I can't wrestle, because, because I have an injury, I'm recovering. But of course, he also was there to say, hey, I'm going to be part of Glory Pro from now on.
Exactly, but he still showed up at the show.
Yeah, he showed up, explained to the fans during the show what was going on, then, said, hey, since I can't wrestle, here's Stephen Wolf.
Well, and the only reason I mentioned this, also I'm going to give you, both of those scenarios I gave you have happened this past weekend. This is over this. So, while you're injured and you know you're probably not going to make the show, you don't tell the promoter until showtime on the day of the show. The show starts at 7. You send a video at 7 o'clock apologizing, saying that you're not going to be there.
Okay, now, with a situation like that, I would honestly tell the performer, thank you for your time, but we need something a little bit ahead of time saying, hey, I got injured.
Yeah, but this is the great part of this. The guy was injured when he took the booking. See, the key word in professional wrestling, at least to me, is professional. I'm
Right.
not gonna go out and get a job and say, hey, I can start on Monday if my job requires me to give 2 weeks notice, and I can't just quit my job and start Monday. If you did that in any other business, you would be fired.
Right, and
But here, if you're a legend, or you're on your retirement tour, shall we say, and you're injured, and you knowingly take a booking injured, and then you send a thing on the day of the show saying, oh yeah, I never left my home because I was injured. So, it just blows my mind that somebody could think that this is a good idea or this is a correct way to act.
Right, and there's a few examples we could talk about with WWE with wrestlers working injured.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Wrestled with a staph infection.
Uh,
Tell me that wasn't sketchy.
Right, and then you also got people like Alexa Bliss,
Mm-hmm.
who dislocated her elbow, then popped it back in place to finish the match.
Yep.
And then you also got someone like who else you got?
Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor.
Blows his shoulder.
Yeah, he took a buckle bomb, but it wasn't a buckle bomb, into the barricade.
I'm sorry, I am never fucking taking that move. That bump is sketchy at best.
But anyways, he took it and his shoulder dislocated. Well, he popped it back in place, finished the match at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins, and won the very first Universal title. Only to relinquish it the next night because the injury was actually worse than what he thought.
To say the least.
Sting.
Indeed, I mean, first off, I can't say enough nice things about Sting. I got to meet him last year at Oklahomania. He was the nicest, most cordial guy, probably at that event. So can't say enough about Sting.
He took that. Well, again, another person who got injured from the buckle bomb from Seth Rollins.
Well, could you want to know the reason that bump is so sketchy?
Because
you can't see where you're going. With a back bump, you know you're landing on flat ground.
Right.
And now you're trying to take a back bump into the corner, and you can't see behind you. You're falling at an angle. Like, there is nothing about that isn't sketchy, in my opinion.
Yeah, and another person we could talk about wrestling injured, Mick Foley.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That man lives in a state of being injured.
Why do you think people call him the king of deathmatch?
He's a hardcore icon. The dude is absolutely crazy.
I mean, for God's sakes, the guy has a room dedicated to Christmas in his house.
Speaking of Mick Foley, also this weekend, Saturday, I rolled down to Wichita Falls, Texas, to the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in downtown Wichita Falls, of which Mick Foley was inducted in this year's class. Got to see a lot of his memorabilia. Really cool stuff. When you come down here in October, it's only about a 2-hour drive from Oklahoma City, so we might have to run down there sometime while you're in town.
Right.
But it's a really cool place. I recommend everybody goes and everybody has a conversation with John Mantell, Cowboy Johnny Mantell, who runs the place. Guy's a wealth of knowledge. We spent some time talking about Cowboy Bill Watts and Mid-South Wrestling as a whole, as he used to run there. So it's a if wrestling is a religion, the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame Museum is Mecca.
Yeah, I mean, just to visit someplace, that's a legit Hall of Fame, not like the WWE.
Yeah, it's got a legitimate board of directors, and it's not Vince saying, they haven't done me wrong, put them in.
Right, and I have a feeling sooner or later, I don't care what anyone says, but sooner or later, someone is going to induct Chris Benoit to some sort of Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time until it happens, but it'll be interesting to see who will put him there first. Probably not the WWE. I'll state that.
Well, I honestly think the WWE would after Vince gets out of control.
Well, yeah, I think if it comes to like Hunter or somebody, it'll happen, but I don't think it's going to happen with Vince at the helm.
No.
Or Stephanie, for that matter.
No. Triple H, maybe.
Maybe.
But...
So John, I know you've probably got your fair share of BS stories, enough of me ranting about no-showing guys and falsifying talent information.
Well... Okay, so there's a promotion down here, and it's one of the ones I work for.
Not name dropping.
That is all the hints I'm giving out.
Yep. Smart.
But, anyways, the first day I worked for them, we were part of what they called the Rookie Showcase, which was their pre-show. And I wasn't managing the regular guys that I usually manage, but it still worked out because these two, I knew they were friends of mine, so
it worked out.
So anyways, whenever we went up for the match, I decided, hey, my guys wear masks to the ring. I'm gonna wear one.
All right.
So I wore one of them airsoft masks that kind of look like the ones the Shield wore at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I wore that out to the ring. I kept it on. I'm doing my thing. And next thing you know, here comes 3 what they consider pros. People who work for the company, who get paid.
Who doesn't come set up a ring, get the bump, and go home.
Right. But anyways, the thing about it is, in the back, I clearly told everyone involved in the match, said, hey, if we're going to do a manager spot, make sure I don't bump, because my back is really bothering me today.
No bump for you.
Well, next thing you know, here comes a wrestler by the name of Xavier Frost. I will say his wrestling name. I won't say his shoot name because I don't know it.
You're gonna bury him, are you?
Oh yes, because he was back there when I was talking to them. Well, their run out was not planned.
Run in.
So I'm sitting there managing, and I look over and I see here comes Xavier Frost with 2 other guys. What's the first thing Xavier Frost does?
Bump you.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have bumped for it, but with the way he hit me, like
He
he
stiffed
gave,
you.
yeah, he gave me a forearm right to the face.
And stiffed you.
Yeah, and considering he hit me right there on that mask,
You got popped.
yeah, so I went down.
Hey, at least you didn't get color.
No, but I'm sitting there slowly getting up. I'm looking around, like I look over at the trainer, the guy who was also organizing the matches for the pre-show. I look over at him, and I pull the mask down. I mouth, what the fuck?
Of course.
Because none of that was planned. Devil's Outlaws, the guys I was managing, was supposed to go over.
You're just dropping names like crazy now, aren't you?
Just a tag team name, that's it. They don't know who's in it.
If they're in the fucking area, they know who's in it.
If they're in the area, yes. But, Devil's Outlaws was supposed to go over. And then, I get stiffed by Xavier Frost.
Bury him while you're at it.
You can fucking bet your ass when me and the other 4 from the match got to the back, we looked at the trainer and we said, what the fuck was that?
Yep.
It was planned for us to go over, not a run-in to create a no contest.
So y'all went and bitched in the back.
And he's like, oh, well, you gotta expect to be changes at the last minute.
It's just true, because I have seen finishes get changed 3 times in a night before a show.
Oh, no, this wasn't...
People have gone from going over to not going over to going over to a DQ. You just assume that at most times it's going to be a clusterfuck.
But either way, it was a simple fact that, they knew what was supposed to happen. And then all of a sudden we're saying, hey, fuck you, we're not doing this.
Expect the unexpected.
Either way, it just pissed me off.
Yeah, it's always weird getting kind of double-crossed like that, but I look at it this way. Sometimes, well, this is what a wrestler told me. I'm not going to drop names unlike you. He said, a lot of the time when we do stuff like that, it's to get a reaction, a natural reaction. Because if they told you, hey, we're going to do a run-in and fuck you over, you would act like you were surprised it happened, but it's not the true, genuine emotion. With that, you're sitting out there going, oh, shit, what was that, huh? And then you're truly pissed off and frustrated that your match went to a no contest, so they're getting that real reaction out of you.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. It's, from what the trainer told us, the crowd was dead. All
Sure.
4 of us looked at him and said, and you're a bold-faced liar. Because we had people, Devil's Outlaws were getting booed. The other team was getting cheered like it was supposed to. Like the whole crowd was into it.
Maybe by your viewpoint, and that's the thing, is it varies, based on, because sometimes what you think's over isn't over to the standards that they think it should be over.
I mean, either way, it upset me with how everything went down. But they should have at least, like when I looked over at the trainer, he should have gave me some indication, like, hey, yoo-hoo, here they come.
Well, I mean, again, that goes back to that whole natural reaction thing. If he gave you that heads up, you wouldn't have truly been confused and in shock when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Hey,
it is what it is.
remember, we're in the business of reaction just as much as action.
Yeah.
So think of it that way. But nonetheless, man, we got a few more minutes here before we have to close up. Well, where are you going to be at? What are you going to be doing this weekend?
Well, this Saturday at 5 o'clock is our last show before we move to Sundays.
The last Saturday show.
It is the Rungs of Glory.
And every match is going to be a
ladder match.
John, get the ladders. Anywho.
And then, this Sunday, at Centerville, the old Centerville Elementary School, is WOE presents War.
War. Cue the chants.
Which we will see a main event of Tyler Copeland taking on Leon Mephisto for the WOE Championship.
Indeed, that should be a barn burner, to say the least.
And that is actually all I have.
That's all you have? Well, you're still doing better than me, because I am doing jack shit. Let's see, what do we got to close with? We got, I'm gonna be at Cottage Hills, September 3rd. I've been talking with Chaos Jester, your general manager up there, and he said I could pick my opponent. So I don't know.
This should be interesting.
I'm still doing my scouting. I'm looking. I'm thinking, to quote the Macho Man, Randy Savage, on who I want. Because probably a rare appearance by me in the Illinois area. So I'll keep everybody updated. Maybe by next week I'll know. Maybe I won't. But y'all will be updated on who I'm thinking about picking. Thinking. Oh yeah. So John, any closing thoughts? I swear to God, you better not quote that Mark Kenny Omega.
Hey, what's wrong with Kenny Omega?
Kenny Omega is a mark who wrestled blow-up dolls and little girls. He has zero credibility in my mind.
Well, he is the New Japan U.S. champion.
Yeah, and I heard Hitler was a good painter. That doesn't mean he didn't do anything bad in his life.
Okay, how about this? How about we pull up New Japan Day 8 of the G1 Climax, and you watch Kenny Omega take on Michael Elgin.
Alright, but you're saying that because Hitler was a good painter, we should praise him for everything he's done.
Well, at least for his art.
I'm sick of your shit. So, in the words of a wise man, fuck this, fuck that, and fuck you, I say good day.
And as always, good night and goodbye.
I'm gonna fucking kill you one of these weeks.
We'll see.
I will find you. I'm behind you, waiting for the fall. You it's like again.